Meet Dr. William Weir, who had his head in the stars, looking to propel human civilization to new worlds, but his feet never touched Earth, and his body, his spirit, and perhaps his mind was stuck in a frozen fastness of space, laying in his own coffin, living in his own tomb. Dr. Weir had 5 visions, dreams, voices, and supernatural hypnotic illusions. We take a look at each one and their possible alternative meanings. Weir's first vision comes early after the film's opening credits and written narrative exposition. We're presented inside of a dead and lonely event horizon. Trinkets, everyday tools and possessions are strewn about with little purpose other than floating decorations. There is a human figure floating in front of a cross-shaped window. It tumbles in a crucifix pose, and we get a glimpse of a tortured soul, as I describe, with barbed wire lacerations and no eyes, where we hear a haunting scream. Dr. Weir wakes up, we believe, from his dream. His second vision comes while he is asleep in his grav tube as he travels to Neptune. He is the first of the crew to wake up, but sees there is another unoccupied tube, and recently emptied. Weir's curiosity takes him to the bridge, where a woman waits for him, and waits she does. The doctor recognizes her as his wife. She is without the eyes, and Weir screams himself awake. When the doctor crawls through the gravity drive's ducts to repair a short circuit, he experiences vertigo, and he hears his wife's voice before seeing a vision of her, and she disappears. The doctor's final vision, before he goes completely mad, comes after discovering Peter's body when she fell under the illusion of the event horizon. Weir sees himself back home, inside his floating tomb above Earth. But he is with his wife, who does not yet see him, as she and the doctor relive her moment of removal with the blade and the tub. The dream does not yet end, and Claire, playing the role of a sentient ghost, comforts her husband before showing him wonderful things. But first, he must lose his eyes. The Vision of Daylight Station. The easiest assumption and most likely theory is it was a dream of Dr. Weir's. We see the dream, we see him waking up. We associate them together. How could anyone doubt this? But have you noticed the event horizon comes without a title crawl introducing the ship? Daylight Station came with one, as did the Lewis and Clark. When the rescue ship arrived at planet Neptune, the event horizon had an in-film signage presenting itself in more awesome ways than artificial text over film. Why was this different? Were we supposed to assume it's the event horizon the film is named after? Because it was presented as a dream. We're not told this is real. It may not be. Why would Weir have this vision? He did design the ship and would know what it looks like on the inside. The doctor did listen to the screams of the audio transmission. But other than presuming confusion the crew experienced, there were no reasons to believe a hellish experience had occurred here yet. It was inferred that no one before DJ understood Latin was spoken. However, we can assume, and the script substantiates this, that Weir had been under emotional strain since the disappearance of the event horizon. Its mission failure cost him more than his professional reputation. One theory that there is a supernatural connection that existed between the event horizon and the doctor that sent a message between the two across the solar system. The clues come with the floating corpse in Weir's dream. It floats in front of a cross-shaped window. The face is without eyes and shows signs of lacerations, and this was more than the doctor's vivid imagination putting together scenery from his darkest corner of his mind. The evidence comes with Peters when she ventures the bridge for the ship's log stuck in the disk drive. A corpse comes floating by in front of a cross-shaped window. It is a corpse without eyes, a common motif of those who looked too deep into the mouth of madness. its face scarred by barbed wire restraints. This is the corpse from Weir's vision. An accurate vision from billions of miles away, connecting with its creator when it returned from the other worlds. But I have an alternative theory that both dismisses Weir's most improbable long-distance video message and offers another dream he experienced that may be far, far worse. The images of the event horizon were true, but it was shown for our benefit, the benefit of the audience. We have a preview inside the haunted ship. Weir did wake up from a dream, the script says so, but it was ambiguous what he dreamt. If Weir didn't dream of the event horizon, what did he see? The answer comes in his final vision with his wife and the bathtub. A clue comes when he pleads to her not again. He had lived this nightmare before. Could this be the recurring dream he had at Daylight Station? It may explain why he turns to his wife's photograph as soon as he woke up, possibly the last photograph taken of her. The vision in the Lewis and Clark. Weir wakes up prematurely from the grav tube. He steps out, spins around, and sees the rest of the crew are still asleep. The camera briefly frames an empty grav tube to our far left. It is unoccupied, a very strange but foretelling image. Before Weir stumbles across a stowaway, he sees his wife sitting in the pilot's seat. It is lined with stickers, likely put there by the ship's pilot, Smith. The screen stares back, like a demon that will not look away. Dr. Weir hears his wife call for him. She's waiting and reveals emptied eye sockets. This is our second vision of souls without eyes. A second vision that ends with a scream. Did Claire's spirit come along for the ride? Inside the ductwork. What is most interesting about Weir's hallucinations when he is left alone in the duct? He has his first vision while awake. At first, he is startled, frightened, and yells out for Captain Miller's help. The spirit, made in Claire's image, calls for Weir to be with her forever. But when the doctor steps out of the ducts, he strangely denies seeing or hearing anything as the crew discuss their own visions. Peter's seeing her son, Miller seeing the fire. The doctor tries to debunk them, ignoring his own experiences to the contrary. Why does Weir not share his vision with the crew? Perhaps he does not remember, or is he trying to protect the ship, concealing its nefarious plans? After all, Stark shared her theory that the ship's hallucinations are a defense mechanism. Claire's final moments. The death of Peters triggered an ugly memory within the doctor. The ship, or perhaps himself, made him relive the final moments in Claire's life, in the bathroom, in the tub. The script explains her death came 2 years prior, or 5 years after the event horizon disappeared. What did they live through after the disaster? Did Claire follow her husband to live in a floating tomb above the earth? When did she figure she was living a hell before dying in a red tub that symbolized it? How many times had the doctor dreamt this nightmare? How many times did it take before it drove him mad? As he told Miller, he is home. But I've only discussed 4 so far. I did mention Weir had 5 visions. Before we get to that 5th and last on the list, like, share, or subscribe if you enjoy this content and want to see more like this one. Weir's first vision came on Daylight Station, his second inside the Lewis and Clark's grav tube. His 4th and 5th were inside the event horizon. His 3rd occurs while showing Miller and Stark the gravity drive. It is very brief and implied. There is an extreme close-up of Weir's eyes. The reflections we see clearly are the lights of the grav drive coming to life. We'll see this revisited with the eyes of Peters when she sees the illusion of her son Denny and succumbs to the evil of the ship. But what did Dr. Weir see? What tricks did the ship play on him? What illusions did it make him believe? We may never know. Let me know in the comments below. What were your takes on Weir's dreams? This is Mr. G of Synergy saying, if you're having nightmares, drink more coffee. Check out my new channel. It's called Synergy 2. Thanks for watching.